Hey, it's Market Moves coming at you. You've been probably waiting for this video all week long, and it's finally coming out on the weekend. Sorry about that, but this is the video where we chart pot stocks, figure out which ones are at the best levels to buy, which ones are breaking out, all that stuff. And the best part about this episode is that I actually put some money into my account that I'm looking to buy some of these stocks with. At the end of this episode, I'm going to give you my top 3 picks at what I'm looking to pick up in the next week or two. So if you're excited to hear my top 3 picks for the next month, please like this video. I'd greatly appreciate it, and subscribe to this channel. I'll give you 2 seconds to do that. 1, 2, thank you. Let's get into the charts right away with your favorite and my favorite, CanTrust. This one is just hugging that $5 level. It dipped below it only twice this week. We saw 477, followed by a 5% move that day, and then today again we're dipping below $5. So it's getting a little scary how we're not getting buyers to push us higher, but I'm really waiting for next week to tell if we are going to pop back up to that 530 level. So still waiting on CanTrust. The bears haven't taken it and the bulls haven't taken it. We're just being patient right now. Next up is CGC. This one is trading within this triangle right here. And as you can see, at the end of the triangle, we are kind of popping out of here, but not really. So next week, we are really going to know what's going to happen. But next week, we're also going to open outside this triangle, giving us a huge chance for the bulls to take it hopefully to $44, if not higher to $48. And I'm just going to share a free trade with you just because I feel like giving back today. So CGC is actually one of our premium option trade alerts, only because it's heading to that apex of the triangle. As you can see, the apex is where all the movement happens. So if we break out from there, I'm looking to buy those July 19th calls or puts, depending if we go higher or lower than the triangle. So the target profit could be 100% return. So check those options out real quick. But in the meantime, just waiting. It seems like next week is going to be the breakout move for CGC. Like I said, from those options, 100 to 150% return. And this was another premium trade. We had a huge move on that green candle from about $7, $10, all the way up to almost $8 at the highs for ACB. So ACB is still hardly trading in this range, this channel going lower. And what we want to see next is if it can develop this bottom at 733 exactly. So that is the bottom I'm looking for. If we can hold it there, I think we'll break out to the upside of that channel. Now heading to the MJ ETF. This is basically the index of pot stocks. So you can own a ton of pot stocks without having to risk the downside by buying one and having that one go bankrupt, or anything can happen. But this pot stock, the MJ ETF, is making higher lows each week, and the candles are getting thinner and thinner. We've had almost 3 inside weeks in a row. All that means is that there's a huge move coming. So inside weeks are a precursor to a huge move. I have a video on that. I'll link to the top. And we also have a great bottoming candle on this monthly chart. So what I love to see about the monthly chart is wicks on the top and bottom, good buying volume, green candle, and now we just want to see if we can get above this moving average right here on the monthly. Next up, we got New Age Beverages, which just gave out a key level. This $5 level just broke through in the last couple weeks, and unfortunately, I thought that was going to hold, and it did not. So what I see next happening for New Age Beverages is this line here, just like the MJ ETF, is very important to defend next week, because we have these Bollinger Bands getting very tight, meaning a large move is going to happen soon, but we just don't know which direction. So if we break down lower, the downside risk could be to this next level of 311. So that's the next bottom, as you can see as I'm looking over to the left. But I really have a hard time thinking this stock is going to drop, because I know that they have that deal with Walmart, and it's really going to boost earnings whenever they come out later this year. Next up, we got Tilray. This is a stock that's been trading in an upper channel, kind of opposite of CGC, so it's bullish. And we actually played this move in the premium group. I put an alert, and this, when it hit this channel right here on the right, this was a 60% move, this one candle in one day. and then we had a break lower, so we finally outside this channel, and now we just want to see if we can move higher after maybe some consolidation for, let's say, 5 days. I think 5 days would be enough, but on the weekly chart, this looks like a great buy opportunity just because I see it hopping on that Bollinger Band, moving average. So this blue moving average is supporting the stock right now, which is really good, and I think that's going to lead us higher for this month. Next up, we got Trulieve, one of my favorite retail companies for the cannabis sector, and this one made an insane higher low right here, kind of showing us that the buyers have some strength. If we look to the smaller chart on the daily, you can see we possibly have a downward trend line we can draw. So I'm going to connect the highs right here, and it looks like we're just staying beneath that. So possible breakout here, but the chart's just too raw and too early to really plot anything great. So I would say if you connect all these highs, we're still underneath the trend line. So coming to the apex of that triangle, just like CGC, we're going to expect a huge breakout when we get to that apex. And speaking of pot stocks and their valuations and the cheapest ones, this is a sheet I'm going to give to you for free. It's my pot stock valuation sheet. I have the link in the bio. It get emailed to you right away. This sheet basically helps you say which ones are overvalued, which ones are undervalued, based on the value score and the price of sales. And if you want to look at their current growing capacity, their share count and revenue, it's all on here for you. I'm just going to point out the top 5 cheapest pot stocks. Like I just said, Trulieve is the cheapest pot stock, but it is a retail pot stock, so that's why it's so cheap. And we also have CanTrust, Labs, ACB, CGC, and CWeb, all in that green zone. So Afria still in the yellow, but is still one of those cheaper ones. On the more expensive ones, we got VFF, Cron, TGOD, and North, and Fire. These are pretty much the category you should probably stay away from. So I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice, but these are definitely ones that I do not want to buy for the upside. So I only look to buy the green ones when I'm looking to put my money into the market. And this one's for you, Brownie Iverson. He's been calling out Ianthus Holdings for a while. I just want to do a quick chart on this one. He has been adamant that I let him know what's happening here, so I will. We have a huge double top from what I'm seeing in this stock, and that drove us all the way down to $4, about 50% difference. So right here, what I see is some bear flagging happening. So all that means is that this stock is trying to make another move lower after we go through this consolidation period. So this blue moving average is coming down. Eventually it's going to hit the stock, and that's going to be resistance. But until then, we have this $4 level being defended pretty greatly. But once we drop through there, which I think is going to happen, I think we're going to see 330, possibly 240. So this range down here can be retested as you're looking at the left of my screen. So I see a bear flag happening, not looking so great. Probably one of my favorite pot stocks, and dang, did I miss this. Huge move. So this is my pick of July 2019. I think I recommended this stock only 2 weeks ago, and boom, we went from $20 all the way up to 23. So that is a huge move, 23% move so far this week, and still moving. So this is definitely one of my favorite pot stocks, and we had an awesome bottom down here. Would have loved to buy that bottom. It's almost up 100% from there. So CWeb, I'm just going to see where it can be going, but this could be a good indicator that some of the cheaper pot stocks can start moving. So we'll head on to Afria next and see where that one is. So as I've been saying, Afria making a great base, just like CanTrust. So Afria is developing this really solid base here, and I think we're going to be breaking out relatively soon just because of all these inside days in a row. So unless Afria is something sketchy happening with the company, like they said in that one short report, I don't think we're going to make that move lower to that $5 range. So I think we're going to make this higher low right here. I definitely think Afria is going to hold. So this is one I'm going to keep my eye out on. I'd love to buy some, hopefully in the next week or two, but I am pumped to see CWeb moving hard, and that is definitely one of my picks for July. So hoping some people got that, and hoping some people did their own research. That stock is moving. This is your next favorite Hexo. This is probably one of the most searched pot stocks out there, and I just put out a video on Hexo kind of overviewing the company, letting you know what I think about it. And right now this stock kind of doing the same thing most of the stocks have been doing, on a pretty hard drop, and we can draw a trend line to kind of show us the resistance, but we are not at resistance yet. I think we might trade sideways for a little bit more, and I think we'll head lower for Hexo. So on this month, we have a red month so far, coming off a red month previously. And if I just zoom in, I'll show you that huge red candle can only be followed by some more selling. So it just depends on if we can bottom this month or not. Next up, we got MedMen. This stock has been on a bigger sell than most of the pot stocks. As you can see, we've been consolidating within this triangle and we just dropped lower. So if I extend the base of the triangle out, you can definitely see that we have come into the base and we're rejecting this. So this is that 260 level, and that's an alert also. And if I also drag out this resistance line, you can see we're coming onto that too. So very confusing what's happening here, but looks like we're not going to be able to break above this week. And we'll see how low we can go, maybe have a double bottom around $2, but going to keep an eye out on this one. And this is another one of my favorites. This is Curaleaf. This is another cheaper company out there, but the stock chart looks very bearish. As you can see, we're possibly bottoming out here, but it looks like we're going to have more selling coming in next week. So I want to see what happens there, but we haven't hit any great levels to bounce from. I mean, this is the next level, 550. We're pretty far from there. And this is the closer level, but we're pretty far from there as well. So that's 825. That would be possibly another 10-cent drop from here. So those are the two key levels I see for this stock. If we bottom out at any point, we could definitely run for those highs. This is another great stock to watch. This is Village Farms, and it's really been holding this level down pretty well. This is that 1150 level. This is definitely one I'm pretty excited about because it's finally moved this blue moving average flat, and we could possibly turn it up in the next couple weeks. So this one looks like probably one of my favorite charts out here, just because the bottoming here, the huge wicks on the candles. This one could really move in my opinion. So I love to follow this one. I might be buying this one. And if you stay tuned till the end of the episode, I'm going to tell you the top 3 ones that I like. So lastly, Kron, big selling, thought we were going to break out soon. Didn't happen. So we're still kind of dancing on this moving average. Just like Village Farms, we have kind of flattened it out, but we have not turned it up yet. So once we get that turn up of the moving average, that's when momentum starts shifting higher. So as you can see, this trend line here, some great support for the stock for Kron, and this one might be touched in the next week or two. So that's going to be $14, $15. Great buy zone if we can hold that. And again, here's another great pick. I'm just seeing a lot of stocks looking awesome for a bottoming scenario. So T-God looking really, really good just because we defended this trend line 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and now we're getting some buying coming in. So very small volume this week, but we're getting a large volume bar. So sorry, very small range, but we're getting a large volume bar down here. So big move off of T-God right here. Just want to see what can happen next week. So thanks for being patient till the end of the video. I'm going to give you my 3 best setups right now, let you know what I'm looking to buy in the next coming weeks. Setup number 1, which I have on my radar, is Afria, and this is ticker APHA. So this is a stock that is in my cheap category. That's why I also like it, because it's cheap and it's also at a very awesome bottom. So this bottom of $6.70 has been held for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks in a row. So that's a very long time, large move coming. And we also have this trend line, which is going to support the stock if we end up moving higher. So it makes more sense on the monthly, but this trend line we have touched many times as well. So Afria is key on my radar. I'll let you know next week if I pick some up. As well as Village Farms. This is my number 2 pick for a possible bull pop in the next coming weeks, just because we've had many wicks that have not closed below this 1150 level. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wicks from these candles, and they have not had any bodies below 1150, which tells you that there's a lot of buyers out there defending this 1150 level, and I like that as an investor because it's very easy to spot that. So on the monthly chart, we've had 2 inside candles, which tells you momentum is really pent up. It could really move this month. And we also have a very small candle so far. So Village Farms could be a huge move coming. I'm really liking this chart. And the last stock I like is actually T-God. So pretty pissed I missed out on Cura, especially because I called it just 2 weeks ago. But T-God is just dancing on this higher low trend line. And I just love the fact that we got great volume on the last day of this week. So T-God, if we can move, we can definitely see $4 come in, which would be, let's say, 20-25% move from here. So that could happen in the next week or so. That would be awesome. And I did call, like I said, C-Web, which moved almost 100% from the bottom. I've been watching this one for a long time. So these are my top 3 picks for the upcoming weeks. Please drop me a comment below on the best ones. Also, if you want to see a video of why I bought so much CanTrust, please click the video to the right of me. If you want to trade with me personally, I give out 3 to 5 trade alerts a week, 7 days for free. Click that link. And then beautiful subscribe button is right there if you want to be a part of the channel. Market Move signing off. Peace.